Hello friends, I'm back, and in this video we are going to be talking about all the stuff from the Apple event, not in super deep detail because you guys already know what was there. You've had plenty of time to look at that. We're going to talk about which iPhone I've ordered, we're going to talk about a bit of the other stuff, and looking after your stuff once you've got it. Want the latest Apple news, leaks and rumours? Subscribe and ring the bell. So I am really glad that I let you guys know in advance that I wasn't necessarily going to be doing any sort of live streams or stuff around the Apple event when it happened. I was like super busy this week with the new job. Things are great, by the way, really enjoy it. Just got to get settled in so that I actually know where I can fit in the video production. So at the moment, this is like Sunday morning, doing it very early in the morning, because again, I'm going out to do an event today. Life is really busy. But the Apple event happened, it was on Wednesday, the pre-orders opened on Friday, and that felt like really close to me for some reason. Normally we have the event on a Tuesday and then it's on the Friday, and then you have a little bit more time to kind of consider what you're doing. But because I didn't actually watch the event until Thursday morning, it was like next day. But my iPhone is ordered, and we will come to exactly what I've got on the way a little bit later in the show. But first of all, what was revealed at the event? First of all, we had the Apple Watch SE, which is basically the Apple Watch SE that we already had, but with a different chip in it. I think that's the only change, right? You just get the S8 chip, which is basically still an S5 anyway. Not that exciting, but I'll take it. It's always better to have an update so that anyone that does want to get an Apple Watch SE can get it, and they will have a fresher processor in there. If I remember correctly though, it might have got a slight price cut, which is always a win. Next up, we had the Apple Watch Series 8, which got slightly different colours and a temperature sensor, which is useful for people with ovaries, which I don't actually have. So not a massive upgrade for me either. Again, this is not the sort of product that people are going to upgrade year on year, so don't worry about like what does it have versus last year. Be more interested in what does it have versus what I already have. If there's enough new features for you, go for it. If not, then that's fine too. But Apple Watch Ultra arrived. It's not the Pro that we expected, it's not the Explorer edition, although they featured some Explorers in their videos, which was interesting, I guess. It's not for me. I don't hate the look of it. I do want to see it in person, and as soon as it actually appears in Apple stores, probably next Friday, I will try and get to my local one. But obviously I'm not going to be running out the door on Friday morning because I'm going to be waiting for my iPhone to arrive first. So we might do a little bit of an unboxing on that because I can work a little bit later on a Friday. That might be a plan. I just hope it comes at a reasonable hour. As I say, we will come back to my iPhone anyway. But Apple Watch Ultra, some really interesting stuff. I think those new straps look really cool. I'm not 100% sold on the design of the body, where it kind of puckers up towards the screen. Not what I would have done, but I'm also not a designer at a very expensive technology company who basically know what they're doing better than I do. But I do think there's some really interesting things. The ability to use it as a full-on dive watch for scuba is really cool. The fact that they've given it much better sort of temperature ranges that it'll work in, very good. Even more water resistant, damage resistant with the way that they've designed around the outside of the display. I would like to have the flat display on a regular Apple Watch with the flat sides. I think that still is a really cool looking design, but this is what Apple wants to do, and I'm fine with it. At least it's not all covered in rubber and ugly as sin. Next up, Apple also introduced the new AirPods Pro. Now, I've never been an AirPods Pro person. I'm not that keen on having the silicone tips. That's the main reason. I do like the new features that brought to it. Being able to do your volume on it is great. I personally use my AirPods 3 with Siri to change my volume quite a lot, or use my Apple Watch. The Apple Watch seems to work really great for that using the digital crown. So it's not a massive add-on for me. I do like what they've done as well in terms of the better sound isolation, the better noise cancelling, and the fact that you can do that selective noise cancellation where it will kind of take the edge off of like tool noises from construction. Oh, hello. Whether you're in a workshop or if you're around construction going on, just to be able to kind of still hear what you want to from transparency mode, but take the edge off it. That's a really nice feature, and twice as good on the general noise cancellation. Apparently, how you measure that, I don't know, but I'm down for it. And then we got onto the iPhones. We got the iPhone 13s, which they've called the iPhone 14 and just made it bigger instead of smaller. There is no 14 mini. We've got the iPhone 14 at 6.1 inches, the iPhone 14 Plus at 6.7, and that one's going to be delayed a little bit because getting the displays made quickly enough was the issue. We heard this from Ross Young ahead of time. It was kind of not a huge surprise that they're going to be delayed a little bit. but I think that's also going to help drive some sales on the other iPhone models a little bit too, because I think that 14 Plus is going to be quite popular. Now we come to what I've ordered. I've ordered the 14 Pro, not the Max this year. I've decided to go for a smaller phone and actually smaller storage on board as well, because I went for the 256 on the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and I've never even got to halfway full. So there's no real need for it. I use a lot of iCloud storage. All of my videos get automatically synced to iCloud, but I also then back them up on a hard drive here. Might get rid of some of the iCloud ones, because with news, I don't really need to keep an archive of it all. YouTube has got that for me, and then I'll still have another backup on the drives. So yeah, I'm not quite sure where I'm using all of that storage. So I've gone to the lower storage. Now I understand that means that I probably won't be able to do the ProRes at 4K. That's okay, because I'm not going to be doing that anyway. It makes very little difference for what I do. But in terms of the upgrades, the dynamic island, it looks amazing. I'm really excited about what they've done with the animations. I thought that was a really nice feature, and actually turning what some people were seeing as a downside of having the cutout into an actual feature. And my concern is that we're going to be poking the camera a lot and it's going to get a bit smudgy, but that camera on the front is a lot better than it has been in the past. Autofocus, bigger aperture, a lot of upgrades to the front-facing camera, which explains why a lot of TikTokers were at Apple Park for this event as well, I think, because that FaceTime camera is the one that people are going to be using all the time, especially for things like TikTok. So very interesting. The back cameras though, huge upgrades, satellite communication. We will look at the cameras in a lot more detail. People have talked about this better than I have. What colour did I go for? I went for purple, because that's basically always been the channel color, and I think that's a good choice for me. I'm very excited to see what it looks like in person. Now, in terms of protection, PITAKA have sent me some cases to play with, including one already for the iPhone 14 Pro already, which is great. And you may know I'm not much of a case person. However, they sent me one for my current phone as well, for the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and I put it on, and I've kept it on. And that surprised me, because I don't normally like cases, but these things are insanely thin. You really don't actually notice it on the outside very much. Now, the 12 Pro Max one that I've got has actually got their own proprietary MagEZ, I think it's called, magnets built into it. But this one actually has MagSafe magnets, which is much better, because it means that I can then use my MagSafe stuff. It's super thin, so it's not going to make too much difference. And I've actually got a 12, this is an iPhone 12 here now, so I can pop that into the same case, and you'll actually be able to see quite how much bigger the camera bump is for the iPhone 14 Pro. So I'm very excited for that. It fits perfectly though, so I might actually use it on here until that comes. But I do kind of recommend having a case now, and I know I didn't, but PITAKA has changed my thoughts on this a little bit, which I think it's important to change your opinions when evidence comes. I've always thought generally cases have been quite chunky and quite uncomfortable and made the product feel less premium, but these ones less so, and I'm down for that. They have also sent me a couple of other bits, which we're going to play with after the iPhone's here, because I need to get some new AirTags, because these are both AirTag accessories. So we have a PITAKA PITATAG. So this is an AirTag holder for your keyring, but it's also got like a multi-tool built in. So if you need a screwdriver or some other things, that's there. And this one is basically like an emergency charging cable that's built in as the loop for this thing. So interesting. You know, that could be quite good if you're traveling and you want to put a tag onto your suitcase, and then you've also got a spare lightning to USB-C cable when you need it. So we'll have a look at those later on. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Let me know which iPhones you have ordered, if you have, down in the comments section, and I will see you in the next one. We will be back tomorrow. Promise? Want the latest Apple news, leaks and rumours? Subscribe and ring the bell.